quickly to show you a nice site. This is Jupiter. It looks so bright in Pisces, the way it's seen from my porch. And this here is Mars. And Mars conjuncts the moon, but I don't see the moon, which is strange to me. I wonder if that is the clouds, and that's why I don't see the moon. But I think, yeah, this is Mars, and the moon conjuncts Mars. And this is where I used Planet Tracker. Um, so that shows us basically what it would look like sidereally, with Jupiter is already in Pisces sidereally. And I guess the good news is that sidereally Jupiter is about to enter Pisces. This is what I tell myself when a planet is finishing a benefic transit. Like, oh, Jupiter is about to enter Pisces, right next to Neptune. And that's Mars and the Moon with I think it's either M1 or M3. I'm not sure. So you can tell me which it is. Different video from what I do mostly. I think the entire YouTube, Twitter, Instagram are quite full um, astrological delineations. So I just wanted to show what it is like in the sky. Mars is like right in front of my porch, and then Jupiter to the right. So that is quite interesting when they are visible. I know it's not the best footage, but I am surprised that I caught them on camera. Mars retrograde, so of course, is closer to the Earth. With Mars retrograde, probably you find yourself reflecting upon the matters in the house where Gemini is for you. This is what I experience with the retrograde versions, like reflecting on my house, the people I've lived with, around me living in houses, because it's my fourth house. And so that's the kind of experience for me, coming to new realizations around this, and also giving certain meanings to experiences that I've had, and having funny, like funny insights, small insights around my upbringing, and all kinds of things like that. So this is how I experience Mars. But true, I also, I don't know if that's related, but I've also encountered the synastry of Twitter in my chart, which is, and because Twitter's Mars is in my chart, and I think it is retrograde. Let me see if I can put it here. Yes, this is S.J. Anderson. Oh, it's not visible. It's actually S.J. Anderson's post, and he posted here the Twitter chart, and I just look at the inner circle is Twitter. So you can actually pause the screen and use the inner circle for the Twitter, and just you can pause the screen, and this is the Twitter natal chart. So if you want to know where Twitter meets your chart, which I found interesting, was that Pluto here is right at 26 degrees Sagittarius, which happens to be my midheaven. So I know the galactic center and all that dualistic point. I don't know if I have experienced, like, how did I experience that? I think what got me to Twitter was, I think, the astrology podcast, and they've saying like that most of the astrology discourse is like on Twitter. And so I joined Twitter, and even though one of my parents was trying to get me on Twitter for like years, and I was like, it's only 150 characters. It's like you can't even really express yourself. But then I don't know. I think I did meet. Oh, of course, I did Spirit of Matter through like a lot of people I did meet through Twitter when I think about it. Yes, Kyra, Cameron, I met them through Twitter. Also Chad, and Angelita, and of course, like Michael, with whom I studied a bit of astrology until I went in between houses and had my own crises. So yes, it definitely has expanded and has attracted a certain part of my career. So even though I don't have too many YouTube viewers from Twitter directly, Spirit of Matter was basically a huge part of Spirit of Matter was actually um, people that I ran into on Twitter. Um, so that's quite interesting as to my midheaven. Spirit of Matter is a huge part of what this channel is. Um, so that's interesting. Yeah, the Mars is direct for Twitter and 16 degrees. Yeah, I don't think it touches anything special. My Rahu is 6 degrees, Juno 27, Chiron 1, so no big deal. Um, it has the sun. I think it is Rahu. It must be Rahu in the and midheaven and lot of fortune in my second house. Like maybe, if I was a millionaire, I would probably say, oh, maybe it's Twitter's goal to be purchased, but to be my possession, right? Like I actually could have bought, if I was one of the billionaires, I actually could have bought Elon Musk. Elon Musk could have bought Twitter, which right now it means to buy Elon Musk. It's true. Um, yeah. So that is interesting, and it's funny because Chiron was just growing over the midheaven of Twitter when Elon Musk purchased it, which I guess S.J. Anderson probably referred to or analyzed. So check him out. He's doing a lot of great content, both on YouTube and on Twitter. Um, so basically, at the time of like Twitter was going through a time of like not being healthy and then being bought in this way. Um, so it's interesting. It's Rahu, I think, is close to my Lilith. Yeah, and it's a lot of fortune, I think, is around my Sirius. Not too close, but around my Sirius. I have Mercury in the 26 degrees Aries, but nothing is touching there. Although it's funny, like it could actually be a platform that I could be purchasing, I think, if I was in that field with these things. Like it's Rahu is to be in my second house, in my possession, belonging to me, basically. Um, I didn't think about it. I don't have the means to buy Twitter right now, but who knows? If Elon Musk is going to do his thing, I might have the means to buy Twitter, huh? And maybe I will invest in it to make it something beautiful. So, um, Uranus in Uranus Mercury in my first house. Okay, but it's not anywhere near my ascendant. It's just in my first house, and it's interesting because I was going through as Uranus in my third house and Uranus around my sun. When coming to conjunct my sun as I joined Twitter, it was my Mars year. I think it was my Jupiter year, and then leading to my Mars year, and then um, I actually had been going through a lot of personal changes. I remember before I went in between houses, I saw people who were asking for help for housing on Twitter, and it was like an epidemic. And then I became like in this situation, but I don't think I used Twitter. Like I turned to Twitter for help. Um, yeah, and it has Chiron, Venus, and Neptune in my 12th house. Chiron Yeah. And Chiron there is kind of opposing its Saturn, and it has Saturn in my sixth house, which I actually, sixth house is for me the house of, it's the house of where you are working, basically. And Saturn there, it can delay things. It force it's not forcing you, but if you want to succeed there, it both makes sure that you will invest, and also it delays things until you are ready and competent to do stuff. And I feel that, I feel that delay a lot. Um, so on the one hand, Spirit of Matter began with this booming experience, and then and sixth house is also the house of health, and Saturn there is not at home. It's the opposite of where he rejoices. He rejoices in the 12th house. Um, so yeah, it's interesting. Like, I don't know, but I do feel that that it's like it's not necessarily going smooth and easy with the Twitter thing for me. I feel like I enjoy reading other people, and when I do comment to other people, people usually enjoy reading me, but I don't feel like people are coming over or are not being exposed also maybe to my posts. Um, but it just doesn't feel as fluid as I might get sometimes on Facebook. I think not right now, but in any case, right now I have Saturn in my 12th, so it can tend to be a bit isolating and sort of like retreating. Um, so having all of these with Venus in my 12th, it's interesting. I don't know. Maybe I have secret admirers on Twitter that I don't know anything about. And Chiron in my 12th. Yeah, Chiron in my 12th. So I don't know. Um, it's Jupiter is in my ninth house, kind of between Saturn and Mars, more to Mars's direction. Um, and that, of course, increases. It's a platform that I speak with people from abroad, and I think it is the first time that I speak mainly with people who are from English speaking countries, and a lot of mainly Americans, but funny, like even Americans that don't live. If I think about Kyra, then she lives in France, but she doesn't, but she speaks English, and she's like, she came from America. Um, but yes, and also it's the first time that I got into US politics, because I had this misconception that it's like, oh, there is no point in dealing with the politics of a country, of a foreign country that I don't live in. And while, I mean, many aspects it's true, when that country is a country that a part of its policy is to interfere with with the policies of other countries, it is actually very good to understand what's going on there. And I am very much exposed to US policy. I don't know why US, and that is another interesting thing, because I don't know why particularly US. Um, but while, let's say, on other social medias, like when I was using OkCupid, not so much as a dating site, but to get people to know people from other cultures and other countries, like even enemy countries that I could speak with, and then learn what people are actually about. Um, and had all kinds of very interesting experiences. But Twitter, I speak mainly with people from the States. On Facebook, it's mainly Hebrew. I don't know why. Like it's mainly Hebrew. And until I spoke Hebrew on Facebook, it's like it I didn't get much um, like it. Yeah, so it's mainly Hebrew. And Instagram is just weird. Like Instagram is just weird. Um, So Jupiter in the ninth, of course, higher studies, and I do study a lot of about astrology. Are mainly our discourse is around like astrological techniques or astrological analysis or something that is of higher thinking. Um, so mainly that, and mainly with people who are from abroad. In this case, pretty much the most Americans. I never spoke with so many Americans in my life. But having the common interest of astrology helps me, and I think most people actually are close to my political opinion, which is not something that I'm so used to. Um, so having, yeah, it's interesting with astrology. Like I don't think there are many right wing astrologers. Well, in these times, it's very difficult to be right wing. Like you would really have to have something that being in the blue would be a violation, like tremendous violation of what you think, in order to not be even forced to be in the blue, even if it's not representative of your opinions, because of the representation that the right wing has. Um, I don't know how did the elections go. I understood that there was a delay. Very obviously, there was a delay about. I think I spoke about it. But yeah, I'm actually way more way more savvy in not savvy. I'm not any close to savvy, but it's like I'm way more exposed to US politics. Um, so that's the higher learning, politics, other cultures, and astrology, and also occult, which is of course religion. And yeah, anything more here? Well, the moon in my 10th house. Hmm. I don't know how to interpret that. Um, yeah, it's ascendant in Cancer. It's ascendant in Cancer. Yeah, not really. Yeah, it's not like I've got my moon. I got Vesta in 4 degrees Cancer, and I got my moon in um on 13 degrees Cancer, like on Sirius. So having the ascendant in 24 degrees Cancer is not really making any effect for me, except that it's in my fifth house, and I may enjoy a lot being around there. As something that, albeit the sometimes very serious topics that I bring, is actually quite leisurable and quite fun for me. And I did take some risks there, it's true. So that's the Twitter chart for me, and then you can see what it's like for you. But the main thing that I wanted to show is this beautiful Jupiter. It's really lovely. It's just a dot. But when you look at it, it's like you knowing that you're looking at Jupiter and maybe feeling the energy. And then Mars. That's it. Not a long video for today. I hope you're having an after eclipse time. There is a, and thanks SJ Anderson for this. There is a wonderful water trine coming up tomorrow, I guess, tomorrow evening. I don't want to miss it actually. Um, with the moon at the end of Cancer, trining Venus at the end of Scorpio, trining Jupiter at the end of Pisces. And let's try and see how many elections can we get with this Jupiter, because you actually have to have the moon aspect in Jupiter to try to bring the energy of Jupiter and capture it into something. And I'm trying, like, I'm not expert in magic, so that might be, I don't know, a good election. Um, if you get it to perform, and if you are awake when it happens, so you might want to do your experiments as well. Um, yeah, that's it. I'm Talishir on Twitter, Shirley Youngblood on Instagram. Oh, do subscribe my channel if you like what you see. I don't normally make these types of videos, but if you want me to make them, then I can. It's always nice to actually see the planets. Like we're talking about graphs usually, but it's nice to actually see the planets. If you wonder if I do readings, then yes, I do. And right now they cost $50, so you would have to, like, I realized I can receive money from you through bank transference because I don't have PayPal. Or we could try digital coins, the equivalent in digital coins. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum is quite an option. Even still, I heard the story about the Binance FTX thingy. That was quite shocking. But it's Bitcoin, like it's something that happens in digital coins. It's very difficult to create safety there, and you would have to have, I think, a very good insurance for the people's money, because people tend to lose their cell phone or lose their computer, and if they're not able to or lose something, is like if they're not able to retrieve safely the money, then it's very difficult to have a lot of people buying, and therefore it's very difficult to have a stable coin because it's not stably used. Think about the things, why are other coins used stably? Because they make constant purchases, and if you buy groceries or in your dollars or in your shekels or in your euros, which by the way I've seen that the pound has gone significantly, like, oh my god, it's like almost like the euro and the dollars. I don't know if it's good to buy, but because, you know, who knows what will be. Um, but if you use your coin to even buy groceries, and and the economy is fine and you can buy groceries whenever you need to, then whatever purchases that you make consistently, you make with that coin, and so there is a level of safety there. Whereas when it comes to digital coins, it's alternative purchases. It's usually way more tricky to buy groceries with digital coin, and it's very difficult to invest in a coin where if something is lost, then you don't like to cancel a credit deal, or to retrieve, like if your account got hacked or something like that, to retrieve that is insured, and sometimes even by the state, and so that's something that will need to be there before any digital coin can be more stable, I think. Now, yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.